Welcome everyone to another top 10. I'm Old School Gamer 1971 here. Millie, Lloyd, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please like, comment and share. Check out my channel and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Today's top 10 is survival horror.
I'm sorry, my son. I didn't want to have to do this to you. But you can't leave. Not yet. There's so much.
So we hit one of my favourite genres, survival horror. It has a varied back catalogue from the likes of Clock Tower 1 and 2, Alone in the Dark, Resident Evil, to the games of today, The Man of Medan, The Sinking City, and Resident Evil 2 Remake. We have had some amazing games. Some of the franchises have been around since the beginning, others have fallen by the wayside. I salute you, Alone in the Dark, Clock Tower and Silent Hill. This list is all available for the PlayStation 4, but this generation has had many new IPs and ports of games in this genre. With Halloween just having passed, I thought now would be the perfect time to make this list. Well, I did try before, but something came up. This was hard whittling it down to 12 with honorary mentions, and I do feel that this generation's survival horror games have had such good atmosphere. So without further ado, close your windows, lock your doors and switch off your lights. Pull on your brown pants and brace yourself. Here is my top 10 for survival horror. P.S. Even the honorary mentions here are worthy of your time. So we start off with my number 10, Murdered Soul Suspect. Came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Airtight Games. We start off with a ghost story, where you must solve a murder. Your own murder, in fact. You must find clues and help ghosts along the way. Set in Salem, there are many ghosts all around. An early PlayStation 4 title, this did look kinda cool. I do have to admit that the subject matter you do have to have a bit of an open mind on, but there is a pretty good story behind the game. The ghosts that you help along the way too have their own stories. This will not be everyone's cup of tea, but normally when it goes on sale for between £2 to £4. The shame is, it never sold well enough to warrant a sequel. But it was such an early PlayStation 4 title, there was not the install base of today. It plays good, looks good, and has an interesting story that once hooked, you will need to see how it ends and the why. P.S. I know I'm weird, but I will never truly understand why this never sold better than it initially did. Come on Square Enix, take a chance on the sequel.
You did, Jules.
Number 9, Zombie Army Trilogy. Came to the PlayStation 4 in 2015 and was developed by Rebellion. This is one tough game, even on normal mode with standard enemies and standard enemy count. It takes precision shooting and good movement to get anywhere with this game. You must play aggressively, but yet still don't overdo it. Set during the dying days of World War II in an alternate reality where we have zombie Nazis. This looks and sounds great. It has a very Carpenter-esque theme music. Honestly, the more players, up to 4, the better. More enemies, tougher enemies, and more to shoot and blow up. When you finish a level, it does feel like you've survived. You are always being swamped, and by skill or luck, you get through it all. Mostly luck. Yes, you could dumb down the AI or the enemy numbers, but that would just make you a pussy. So leave the options alone, get into the party, and the last one to die isn't trying hard enough. Get the game and let's go on 4-player co-op. Number 8, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Frictional Games. When a game claims to be the scariest game of the decade, most people buy adult diapers, me, tomato soup and chips, while watching a scary movie, and then we begin. I walked into the game with high hopes, and boy was I not disappointed. Was it as scary as I had hoped? Yes. Did it live up to the hype? Mostly. Starting off life on PC, we got the collection for the PlayStation 4. Another game without combat, which does add to the atmosphere. You must solve puzzles and escape/avoid enemies. This all plays great and looks great. It was great that it came to the PlayStation, and certainly having 2 games and DLC in one value pack. This is around 15 hours of entertainment on offer here. This does get your blood pumping, and certainly when it comes to the horror, it's right up there. My number 7, The Evil Within, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Tango Gameworks. This was directed by Shinji Mikami. You know the guy who had previously directed Resident Evil and Dino Crisis. Amazingly, he was supposed to have been working on Resident Evil 7. However, things broke down with Capcom, and so he made this game. And boy is it a corker. This is a tough game, especially if you be wanting that platinum. This has a really different feel to it, definitely compared to his early games. This game has so much tension, the chase sequences really get the blood pumping. It was so good to see a new IP that lived up to the survival horror moniker. The enemies, characters and settings are all so well designed. Again, this is all great, and I do wish he does work on more titles like this. The tension on show here is damn good, and if you feel up to the challenge, then get this game. PS, this game is not for the squeamish. The gore level is easily on par with the Saw franchise, so be prepared.
Hurts!
Whoa. Were you warning me about this? You are Leslie, right? I'm a police officer. Maybe I should help you.
Moving on to number 6, The Call of Cthulhu, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Cyanide. This was one of two titles based around H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu that was in development at the same time, the other being The Sinking City. This is more of a narrative experience. The story is rather cool. Some of the support casts are genuinely creepy. Graphically, whilst good, this isn't AAA, but that is the game's charm. There is such a thing as over-polishing a game. This game's rough edges suit the game's style. The story is cool and it does get your blood pumping. The puzzles aren't overcomplicated, nor are the maps too big, so the pacing of this game is great. With being a narrative experience, pacing can sometimes be the problem. You can read everything at your own pace or just pass it over. This does have its moments of greatness, but also have moments that are easily criticised. The shooting section, for me, I felt it was something different and I thought it did add to the overall game.
Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
Number 5. Dead Rising 2 came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Mercenary Technology. Whilst arguably this isn't too much horror, it is a lot of survival. This game is violent and a hell of a lot of fun to play. This is a game that feels like it was just for me, creating weapons, smashing zombies' heads in, and occasionally helping survivors to the safe house. In 2-player, it is even more fun. The series does borrow heavily from zombie movies, especially George A. Romero's, yet it's tongue-in-cheek, crazy attitude that makes this special. Again, this can be bought in a triple pack, along with the first game and off the record. Right now, after the lacking sales of Dead Rising 4, the series has been put on hiatus. The gore was missing, as was playing the whole game in co-op. To me, it was not as bad as people professed, but was nowhere near this level of quality neither. I see this as a fun play and well worthy of a spot on this list. 2-player anyone?
I'm the big shot now. I'm twice the man you are.
I saw what you did there.
My number 4, Reno the Tormented Fathers, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Stormmind Games. Right, first thing to get out of the way, there is a naked old dude chasing you for a proportion of the game. If this is a problem, skip to number 3. For those who don't see this as a problem, this is a great game where you're chased from pillar to post by different beings, and boy are some of them different. For those who are familiar to Clock Tower 3, the game plays oh so familiar. Even the scare meter works pretty much the same. It has a retro look to it, it is set in the past, and the main character does remind me of the look of Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. This is not a bad thing, and for a non-AAA title, I would say a lot was achieved, and the fact that a sequel is on the way for the PlayStation 4 next year, I am greatly looking forward to it. This game does ramp up the tension, and when you're being chased, man, you have to have enough gap to hide, so it's creating that gap. Learn the map and don't get trapped.
Who is it?
Yes, hello. I'm Dr. Reed from the Santa Margarita Institute.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Felton is no longer a patient.
I know. This is why I'm here. Hello? Anyone?
moving on to my number 3, Until Dawn, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2015 and was developed by Supermassive Games. Right, straight up confession, I love trashy horror, slasher movies especially. I'm missing one Friday the 13th on Blu-ray, then I will have all Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream and Saw movies. So imagine my delight when I hear of a game that is homage to the horror genre, including the slasher movie. Then I played it and it was all I'd hoped it would be, and then so much more. I love how faithful Supermassive Games is to the trope shown here and in their recently released game, The Man of Medan. Also their next game too, Little Hope. All in all, 8 games are planned in the series, each releasing 6 months apart. Each game will follow different horror tropes. Am I in charge of Supermassive Games and just don't know about it? So at least that gives me something to look forward to for the next 4 years at least. Their games have multiple endings and good characterization. There's no reason for anybody to not play these games.
Okay. Guess so.
Brad, I mean, you're not gonna regret it. You up for a ride along?
My penultimate entry, Resident Evil 7, came to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR in 2018 and was developed by Capcom. This game is quite disturbing in places. The awful blood and guts strewn around the place. In VR, everything is magnified, watching your arm chopped off and then reattaching it. As the family gets in your face, the 3D in VR is unbelievable. Honestly, it's a whole other level of immersion, and I don't think you've ever experienced this game until you have played it in VR. The decapitation scene is brutal. The VR probably placed this 3 or 4 places higher and is proof, if proof was ever needed, that VR can handle a full game. In fact, this proves VR can enhance your experience. This is a true survival horror game and a return to form for Capcom and the Resident Evil series. With or without VR, this game is worth playing, and the family are so twisted, they rival almost anything game or movie wise. Please note, this game is not for the faint of heart. And my number 1, Alien Isolation, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Creative Assembly. This is a game that I wish I could be better at. That is not to say I'm bad passé, just that I want to be able to make the alien my bitch. I just can't do it. I don't die often, mostly when I run at the alien at the end of one of my videos. This is a thrill ride of a game that needs to be in every survival horror fan's game collection. You feel like you are living by your wits in this game. Amazingly, the one thing that they could have done to improve it never came to the PlayStation, and that is VR. So when they finally get the finger out their asses and make the sequel, maybe we'll get it then. Anyway, this game is great, with amazing DLC that is as good as the movie. Taking 2 important scenes from the classic movie and being able to play them, add to that survival mode. There is hours of fun to be had with this title, and until such times as something else comes along that tops this. Spoilers, there has been some good games this year, but nothing comes close to this. So right now, the game's number 1 status is safe. Anyway, isn't it time for me to find that pesky alien and then run at him in a blaze of glory Here, Ali the alien. Here, boy. Dinner's served. And it's done. I hope you all enjoyed this top 10. There is plenty more content like this on my channel. Check it out, and if you would, spread the word. Enjoy your day, one and all. Old School Gamer 1971, signing off.